Pixel art games are incredibly relaxing, and in many cases, they can deliver a better experience than a lot of ultra-realistic titles. If you've never played a pixel art game before, don't worry, because I've picked 23 perfect pixel art games for you, and now we're going to dive into them. If you're ready, let's begin. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. I want to start this list with a game that anyone new to pixel art will instantly love. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. Most of us grew up watching this cartoon, so getting the chance to control these characters and stand against Shredder is something we've all wanted to experience. The moment the game starts, it pulls you in, with up to 4-player co-op. You can either play with friends or control all 4 characters yourself, and since each one has a different playstyle, they all feel unique and satisfying. One of the best parts is the animation. Every frame looks hand-drawn, with vibrant colors and character designs that perfectly capture the 80s and 90s arcade aesthetic. It feels nostalgic, while also delivering an incredibly fun beat-em-up experience. For someone new to pixel art, Shredder's Revenge is the perfect starting point. The Last Spell. When you first launch The Last Spell, it might seem a bit slow, but once you give it some time, you'll suddenly realize hours have passed. In The Last Spell, you strengthen your city and defend it against deadly enemy hordes, blending tactical RPG mechanics with roguelike elements. During the day, you build defenses and prepare your town. At night, it turns into a tower defense-style battle. The game combines these two systems extremely well. Its dark atmosphere is enhanced by a heavy metal soundtrack, making the experience even more engaging. Even though the tone is grim, the game pulls you in and keeps you hooked. Definitely worth trying. Cast and Chill. If you're looking for something to relax with on a weekend morning after a long week, Cast and Chill is exactly what you need. The game has one simple goal: to help you unwind. At first, it looks like a basic fishing game, but over time, new mechanics unlock. From discovering new fish species to exploring different locations, the game constantly gives you a sense of progression. On top of that, the pixel art style alone is incredibly soothing. Green fields, lakeside views, sunsets, everything is designed to relax you. The music is calm, the pace is slow, and that's completely intentional. Every minute you spend in this game feels peaceful. You can even play it just to unwind. Hyperlight Drifter. Now let's shift to something more atmospheric. Hyperlight Drifter feels like a piece of art designed to show how pixel art can become a form of artistic expression. There's no dialogue, no direct explanation, just you and a protagonist exploring a mysterious world. The game tells its story silently, while you progress through an action system based on swords, guns, and dashes. It's challenging at first, but once you get into the rhythm, it becomes incredibly satisfying. The color palette is truly unique. Neon pinks, deep purples, and faded yellows come together in a way that feels visually stunning. Each area feels like a completely different world with its own atmosphere. Even if you've never played a pixel art game before, this could easily be your first. Katana Zero. When I recommended Katana Zero to a friend who had never played pixel art games before, they absolutely loved it, so I had to include it on this list. This game combines a neo-noir atmosphere, samurai aesthetics, and time manipulation into one unique experience. Every level resets with a single mistake, so you have to think carefully about every move you make, and that's what makes it so satisfying. I've rarely played an action platformer that feels this good. Using the katana is incredibly fun, and combined with the pixel art style, it almost feels like you're inside a movie. The story is also much deeper than you might expect. You should definitely give Katana Zero a try. Blasphemous 2. If you enjoy Souls games, then I absolutely have to recommend Blasphemous 2, a Metroidvania that delivers a Souls-like experience at the same level as many of the best in the genre. It blends Spanish Gothic aesthetics with a strict Metroidvania structure in a way that feels completely unique. Building on the first game, it improves everything and offers a much more refined gameplay system. You have 3 different weapons, each supporting a different playstyle. While it may look like just another pixel art game, it actually has a deep story and rich lore. Every boss feels like a piece of art, and every environment is crafted with incredible attention to detail. The combat animations are among the smoothest in the genre. This is a game you won't regret playing. Eastward. After so many action-heavy pixel art games, let's move to something that feels like every scene is a hand-drawn comic book page. Eastward is a perfect example of how powerful pixel art can be. The lighting, color transitions, and character animations are truly unique within the genre. It blends action RPG elements with a story-driven adventure. As you explore, the world expands, and each new area brings a different atmosphere, which is honestly my favorite part of the game. The combat is simple but satisfying, and small details like collecting cooking recipes make the world feel alive. For anyone who loves pixel art, this is absolutely a must-play. Sea of Stars. Sea of Stars is the perfect answer to the question, what would a modern JRPG look like with classic pixel art? Because with this game, Sabotage Studio has created something truly breathtaking on a visual level. Very few games use lighting and shadow dynamics this effectively in a pixel art format. From the way sunlight reflects on water to how flames illuminate the inside of a cave, every detail constantly reminds you how polished and beautiful this game really is. The turn-based combat system blends perfectly with timing mechanics, while the boost system adds an extra layer of strategy to every battle. If you're looking for both stunning pixel art and a true visual spectacle, this is exactly the game you've been searching for. Octopath Traveler is, in my opinion, the best example of how to use the HD 2D visual style effectively. The combination of pixel characters with real-time lighting and depth effects looks absolutely incredible. 8 characters, 8 different stories. Each one interacts with the world in a unique way, which keeps the experience fresh throughout. The break and boost systems add a strong tactical layer to combat, and when combined with the game's music, it truly pulls you into its world. While the overarching story may not be the strongest, each individual character journey is well written and engaging. If you want to see pixel art blended with modern technology at its finest, this is a must-add to your list. To the Restless Ruins. To the Restless Ruins is a game that hasn't been talked about much yet, but it absolutely deserves attention. Built around procedurally generated maps, it focuses on exploration and puzzle solving. Its atmosphere is especially striking. Dark tones, minimal lighting, and a mysterious visual style created entirely through pixel art. Honestly, the game's aesthetic left a strong impression on me. Each run creates a different layout, keeping exploration fresh every time. The puzzles can be challenging, but solving them brings a real sense of satisfaction. It's one of those indie games quietly growing in quality without much noise. Definitely something you should keep on your radar. Chained Echoes. Imagine a JRPG developed over years by a single person. That's exactly what Chained Echoes is. Created entirely by Matthias Linde, this game reaches a level of quality comparable to big studio productions. Its SNES-era pixel art aesthetic is a deliberate choice. From character sprites to environmental design, everything feels consistent and original. The combat system is captivating, especially with its overheat mechanic, which turns every encounter into a strategic challenge that keeps you thinking constantly. The story may seem complex at first, but the characters are written well enough to carry that depth. Flying mechs, political intrigue, and personal drama all exist side by side within the same world. If you're a fan of classic JRPGs, this game is absolutely for you. CrossCode. For a long time, it's been considered one of the best indie RPGs ever made, yet a lot of people still haven't played it. But now you know. The concept alone is already interesting. A single-player experience set inside an MMO world. And it actually works incredibly well. The gameplay is fast, sharp, and constantly engaging. You're solving puzzles by combining elements while jumping straight into action-packed combat that never lets you slow down. Visually, it blends pixel art with an anime-inspired style, and the result is beautiful, detailed characters, a cohesive world, and environments that feel alive. The dialogue is another highlight. It's funny, but also surprisingly deep, and balancing those two is not easy. With a main story that goes well beyond 20 hours and tons of side content, this game is packed. Honestly, very few indie RPGs deliver this level of depth and quality. If you love pixel art RPGs, this is not optional. Owlboy. This game took 9 years to make, and you can feel that care in every single frame. You play as Otis, a silent owl who can fly and carry his friends into battle, creating a unique gameplay dynamic that feels fresh from start to finish. But what really makes Owlboy stand out is its pixel art. This isn't just good, it's exceptional. The skies, the clouds, the night scenes, everything is crafted with insane attention to detail. The color palette and lighting give the game a cinematic feel, almost like you're playing through an animated film. And while the story may seem simple at first, it slowly evolves into something much more emotional. Themes like regret, self-worth, and belonging are woven subtly into the experience. If you ever wanted proof that pixel art can be true art, Owlboy is one of the best examples out there. It's not just a game, it's an experience worth appreciating. Loop Hero. Loop Hero is one of those games that's really hard to explain because you don't fully understand it until you're already addicted. Here's the idea. Your hero automatically walks in a loop, and you build the world around them using cards. You decide where enemies appear, where treasure spawns, and how dangerous the world becomes. The pixel art style is intentionally minimal, but instead of feeling empty, it actually strengthens the game's mysterious atmosphere. Dark tones and vague silhouettes create this strange, almost hypnotic vibe. What makes it truly unique is how it blends genres, deck building, roguelike, and auto-battler, all in one seamless system. And somehow, it just works. You keep saying one more loop, one more card, and before you know it, hours are gone. Once Loop Hero pulls you in, it's really hard to get out. At first glance, Fez looks simple, a classic platformer, but the moment you rotate the world for the first time, everything changes. What you thought was a 2D world suddenly reveals itself as 3D. With every rotation, new paths, hidden secrets, and clever puzzles appear. And the crazy part, this one single mechanic carries the entire game, and it never gets boring. The pixel art style leans into a nostalgic 8-bit aesthetic, but it feels modern and intentional. The color palette is calming, and the soundtrack is perfect for long, relaxing exploration sessions. Fez is the kind of game that slows you down, makes you think, and rewards your curiosity. Even after you finish it, the mysteries stick with you. You'll keep thinking about them long after the game is over. It's not just a great indie game, it's a landmark in indie game history. If you're into pixel art platformers, Fez is absolutely essential. If a game could shout at you to go faster, Huntdown would be screaming the entire time. This is pure unapologetic action. You're clearing out dozens, sometimes hundreds of enemies per level, and every single takedown feels punchy and satisfying. What really sets it apart is the vibe. This is peak 80s action movie energy turned into pixel art. Neon lights, gritty one-liners, over-the-top explosions. It's all here, and it's done right. You get 3 different characters, each with their own playstyle, and a solid variety of weapons that all feel distinct. And if you jump into co-op, the chaos basically doubles in the best way possible. Boss fights are pattern-based, but once you learn them, they become incredibly satisfying to master. Visually, every scene looks like it came straight out of an action movie poster. If you love arcade shooters with style and speed, Huntdown is an absolute must-play. Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight isn't just a great pixel art platformer, it's a modern classic, and honestly that title still holds strong. It doesn't just copy the NES era, it understands it, and then it builds on top of it. The core mechanic is simple but genius. Your shovel is both your weapon and your movement tool. That one idea carries the entire game, and somehow it never gets boring. Every level introduces something new, keeping the experience fresh all the way through. And with multiple campaigns featuring different characters and mechanics, the game keeps expanding in meaningful ways. The pixel art stays true to its roots but evolves beautifully. The music is unforgettable, and the level design still top tier even today. If you're getting into this genre, this is one of the best places to start. It's nostalgic, but it also feels timeless. Animal Well. Animal Well is one of those games that looks simple at first, and then completely surprises you. There's no combat, no weapons, just exploration and puzzles in a dark, mysterious world filled with hidden layers. Every object you find has a purpose, and figuring out what that purpose is becomes the core of the experience. The pixel art style is intentionally minimal and shadowy, but that's exactly what makes it so effective. Even the smallest light source grabs your attention instantly. It builds this quiet, eerie atmosphere that pulls you in. And here's the thing, this game doesn't end when you think it does. There are secrets the community is still trying to uncover. If you enjoy discovery, mystery, and clever design, Animal Well is easily one of the most unique games in this space. Noita. Noita is chaos, but smart chaos. This is a roguelike where every single pixel is physically simulated. Water flows, fire spreads, lava burns, and everything interacts with everything. That means every run is unpredictable and sometimes completely insane. It's a magic-based system, so you're constantly experimenting with spells, combinations, and outcomes. But the real magic is how the pixel art carries all this complexity. Explosions don't just look good, they behave realistically. Every reaction is calculated in real time. It's honestly kind of ridiculous how much is happening under the hood here. You will die a lot, but every death teaches you something new, and that's what keeps you going. Add in the insane amount of hidden secrets the community is still discovering, and you've got a game with serious depth. For patient players, Noita is a one-of-a-kind experience. The Last Faith. If you're a fan of dark gothic games like Bloodborne, then The Last Faith is basically a love letter in pixel art form. It blends Souls-like difficulty, Metroidvania structure, and Victorian aesthetics into one cohesive experience, and it actually works really well. The combat is heavy and deliberate, the world is layered with mystery, and the atmosphere is consistently dark without ever feeling repetitive. The pixel art here is surprisingly detailed. Enemy animations, environments, lighting, it all adds to that oppressive gothic feel. Boss fights are tough, but fair. You learn, adapt, and improve. And the story, it's told in fragments, which makes it perfect for players who love digging into lore. There aren't many games that translate Souls-like mechanics into pixel art this successfully. If you enjoy this genre, you shouldn't skip this one. Momodora, Moonlit Farewell. Momodora Moonlit Farewell feels like the peak of the series, and once you play it, you'll understand why. It combines action, platforming, and Metroidvania elements in a way that feels simple at first, but surprisingly deep over time. Combat is fast, timing-based, and incredibly satisfying once you get into the rhythm. Visually, it stands out immediately. The pixel art is clean and expressive, animations are smooth, and the magic effects during boss fights look fantastic. The game isn't very long, but that's actually a strength. There's no filler here. Every moment feels intentional. And then there's the story. It's quiet, melancholic, and unexpectedly emotional. Luren's Lost Ruins. Lost Ruins is short, but don't let that fool you. It's intense from start to finish. This is a 2D action platformer that constantly challenges you, but never feels unfair. You'll be switching between different weapons and magic, learning how to handle enemies in smarter ways as you go. At first it might feel tough, but once it clicks, it becomes extremely addictive. The pixel art style is detailed and atmospheric, with environments that each feel distinct. The character designs lean into anime inspiration, but still feel unique and stylized. Enemy variety is another highlight. You can't just brute force your way through. Each one requires a slightly different approach. It's the kind of game that gives you a lot in a short time, and it's definitely worth more than one playthrough. To the Moon. Is To the Moon even a game, or is it something more? Honestly, don't overthink it. Just experience it. You play as two scientists entering the memories of a dying man to fulfill his final wish. That's it. The gameplay is minimal, but the story? It hits harder than most AAA titles. The pixel art style is simple on purpose. It uses that old RPG Maker aesthetic, not to impress visually, but to let the story shine. Celeste. Celeste is not just a platformer. It's an experience about struggle, failure, and pushing forward. As you climb the mountain with Madeline, you're going to fail. A lot. You'll die hundreds, maybe thousands of times. But every failure teaches you something, and when you finally succeed, the feeling is unmatched. The pixel art design is clean and purposeful. Each area has its own color palette, and the animations are fast and easy to read, which is crucial for a game this precise. What makes Celeste special is how it balances difficulty with fairness. It's challenging, but never frustrating in a cheap way. And underneath all of that is a story about anxiety, self-doubt, and self-acceptance. It adds real emotional weight to everything you do. With Assist mode, anyone can experience it regardless of skill level. From both a design and artistic perspective, Celeste is easily one of the most important games of its generation.